Ever since this crafting trend busted onto the crafting scene this past summer, I've been itching to make one. Hi there, I'm Jane from Sustain My Craft Habit and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make my latest crafting obsession, the busted canvas. So a busted canvas refers to this type of craft that starts with a simple framed canvas. You can get them from the Dollar Tree or craft store. They're really inexpensive. Then we end up painting it, decoupaging the inside, and cutting it open to reveal an image from the back side. And it really has this three-dimensional, busted kind of appearance. So I'm going to show you the basics of this versatile craft and talk about the different ways that you can make it. You can customize this for different seasons and events, and they make awesome gifts as well as items to make at holiday bazaars and craft sales coming up. As soon as I posted this one, I was starting to get people asking about where they could buy it. I know that it's a hot one when I get that kind of response. So let's get started. To make this project, we need our canvas. This is just a simple framed canvas from the dollar store. It's actually an 8x10. Obviously, you could do this craft with larger or smaller canvases as well. We also then need the star of the show, which I picked out this graphic. So you can find graphics online. I'm gonna leave the link to where I got this one off of Creative Fabrica. It's one of our favorite places to find beautiful graphics for crafting, but you could use calendar pages, photographs, any printables, wrapping paper, really whenever you find a beautiful image that you would like to have, that's what we're going to use. Once you settle on the image, you need two coordinating elements that work with your image, but also that contrast with each other. I actually, luckily, found this beautiful napkin in my collection, and it has the blues and the pinks and some of the browns or oranges. So this was the perfect match. And then I also have this rose gold metallic paint. It's a flat metallic by Decor. I just thought it would pull and go with some of the colors in the books here. So you can see that this all will go together really nicely. Then once we've decided on that, you'll simply just need some tools like a brush. The utility knife is pretty key, because this is what we're going to use to bust our canvas open. We're going to use some Mod Podge because I am going to be doing a bit of decoupage with the napkin. However, you could use two different shades of paint or different painting techniques on both sides of the canvas as long as they have a nice contrast to them. And then finally, we need a few embellishments to go on the top of the canvas. Just have to wait. You whisper to me. To begin, we're going to deal with the actual front side of the canvas. I've chosen to paint mine in that coordinating rose gold color, but there are so many possibilities. And like I said, we're going to do this kind of as a beginner level busted canvas. But as you get more comfortable with it, you can actually make it even more complex with things like a crackle finish on the surface, doing a different napkin that coordinates and decoupaging that, or another type of print. You could put burlap or other fabric on here. The sky is truly the limit, and what a fun way to express your creativity. After painting the front of the canvas as well as the sides of the frame, we're going to dry that completely. Next, it's time to decoupage the napkin on the back side of the canvas. And at the end, it is this side of the canvas that will be busting through the front of our canvas. After removing the excess plies of the napkin, I trimmed it to size so that it'll fit inside the frame of the canvas. It doesn't have to be perfect, just that it will cover most of the surface that will later be busting through on the other side. The back of the canvas that I got had a yellow tone to it, so I applied a coat of white paint over there. I used a white chalky paint, and the canvas was just completely sucking up the paint. But I thought this was important so that when we decoupaged the napkin onto there, that the napkin would look really nice and bright, especially since my graphic was printed onto a bright white copy paper. I wasn't too worried about getting perfect coverage. Again, it was just more to tone down the yellow that was under there. Once I dried that white chalky paint, I applied a coat of Mod Podge, a really nice light coat, and then placed my napkin right on there, spreading it out nice and flat. After drying that, it was time to bust our canvas. Now my graphic was pretty centered and symmetrical, but I've seen these designs done with an asymmetrical image and offset. So you'll want to figure out kind of where the center point of your image is, where the focal point is, and use that as the starting point for your canvas. So you'll just put a little dot there, and that's where we're going to cut open the canvas. Then you'll just start at that point and start cutting open the canvas from the back side. There are different designs and patterns that you can use to bust open your canvas, but we're using simple triangle shapes. I have about, I think at the end there will be about 8 of them. And again, they don't have to be perfect, and actually the more uneven that they are, the more interesting the design is. But you'll just go around and cut open those slits, maybe to about 1 inch of the border of your canvas, maybe about 1/2 inch, just like this. I needed to use my scissors to help cut through there a little bit. So now we have this cut open canvas, and the magic really happens when you fold back the flaps. So you can see here now that the design of the napkin that we decoupaged on the back side is revealed, and this is why it's important that it contrasts with whatever finish you chose for the front of your canvas. At this point, you'll just take a little bit of hot glue, and as you curl back those little triangle tails, you want to glue them to the front side of the canvas. And this creates this sort of busted effect. It almost looks like an explosion of your canvas from the back side. Now we'll just continue this process until all those flaps are glued to the front of the canvas. And that's how we've created a busted canvas. But now, of course, we want to add our graphic in there. And we're simply going to do that by positioning the printout where we want it to be and then gluing it in place with our hot glue gun. I'm just gluing this to the back side of the frame. And I love that this gives the piece kind of a depth, that the graphic is actually not right against the canvas, but it's about 1 inch back at the back of your frame. If you'd like to make the back a bit sturdier, you could also decoupage the graphic onto a little bit of cardboard. The last step for the frame is just to trim away the extra from your printable. So our busted canvas is looking pretty beautiful already, but you can dress it up by adding some embellishments. I'm going to add some fall themed greenery and florals just here to the top corner. There's our beautiful new busted canvas project. Let us know if you've made one of these or if you're thinking to make one. I can't wait to craft a Halloween one and a Christmas one because it's such an easy beginner project. Happy crafting!